It's an overcast day here at the studio in Halfland. This stack of images is all things that have been completed and no longer needed for reference. Let's see what's here. Oh, here's a box of lenses. This I took out of a magnifying lamp in downstairs Claire's shop that was going to the scrap metal guy. So I took the lens and left the dirt on, and it's actually very, very cool for filming Halfland possibly. So I'm still trying to get that spyglass look. Added this fantastic, I love Nova Color, as you know, and this is their iridescent base and glaze, which is just a wonderful wet look shimmer, very delicate. And so I've added that all over on the snake, and matte powdery detail to the shell. So the contrast of the wet and dry will be good. Set coming along. This is where the snail, the large snail puppet, roams down the track you see there. And what's interesting about this to me is that I made the set piece, the puzzle piece, out of foam core, and it works very well for planting each individual blade of grass, etc. But I wanted the snail puppet to be able to, instead of tying down each inch forward, I wanted to slide it. So what I did was I matched pieces of foam, soft foam. I matched it and kind of squished them together to create a trough, which can go quite small together, and if it needs to come together more, I've got painted little filler pieces that can shove in there, and it kind of makes it disappear fairly well. I just string them along, and as I move the puppet, I just remove the filler dirt pieces that are painted and mulched foam with matte medium. So it's an interesting idea. I'll see how it works. But nonetheless, this is shaping up now. I've got several pieces of component pieces of greenery, foliage that will be used modularly on the main set for when we need a macro close-up set for butterflies and insects of various kinds. This is interesting to show. So this is a real leaf that was green that I preserved with layers and layers of paint and matte medium, and finally ended up painting to look like a dried dead leaf. Why? Because this has fallen, obviously, off of the answer tree and into the macro garden as the snail is strolling by. And what's interesting is I've just worked out how to have the answers visible on the leaves of the tree, which is part of the folktale. So what I've done is I'm taking these preserved leaves that'll be around the set for that reveal, and I've taken a brown ink permanent marker, which is waterproof, and I've written in a gibberish language. It's no language at all. It's just the gesture of writing, which I don't know if this will make out at all. It's on there. It's just a gesture of writing, and those are the answers to people's questions that they've whispered in. And so what happens is then I cover it with chalk, which is water soluble. So what happens is for the reveal gag, what will happen is you'll see a leaf in few frames, then I'll be adding water, and as it dries, then the message is revealed. So it's just a mechanism I have for revealing those answers. So that's handled, which I was wondering how that was going to be. Here's very nice. I'm really happy about the dandelions. We have, as you know, we have 3 scale of dandelion in the film. This is the largest. It's a little bit larger than life, as you see, in some cases, not always. This macro set is kind of a mixture of scale. It's kind of just slightly outsized, in some cases a little bit more than slightly, but I feel it's kind of like, again, looking through a magnifier, and through the magnifier you'll see in a post it's actually very interesting. Beautiful crepe paper flowers will be in the macro garden as well. The mouse house interior, which is a little bit lit dark today, but you can see I'm working out the scale for the larger mouse puppet. So I'm thinking, as I did in the printout of his sketch, cut out like that, so he'll basically be about that size, which is a little smaller than this little toy. But it's this kind of feeling I wanted. I wanted a really overweight, kind of jowly haunches sitting over that chair as he writes. So that's great. On the way here is the lace-making spider set component for the attic of this spider that the spider was based on is sitting on a hat, and I thought, well, why wouldn't the spider come along then into the desert on top of Rana's hat? So now we've got a whole troop going, a new addition to the troop. Here's a painting chicken. So check it out. This is the coolest thing. I saw this image of a black and white feathered chicken. I don't know if I was too close. And I thought, oh my God, what if the painting chicken not only painted but was himself a paint by number or a kind of outline coloring book? You can see I've colored in a few feathers on this sketch. I have found those very types of feathers. And setting aside the morality of buying feathers, I just felt that these were affordable and would save me so much time manufacturing enough to make a little chicken. So we have the feathers that will be put on a form, which I've started. It's a smaller than Earth-sized chicken, so it'll be this kind of a shape with his legs and head is made. And so he'll be covered in these feathers, layered in, and then a couple of them will be painted in addition to his easel prop and his brushes and whatnot. So that's just one additional puppet update for you. And there's the phone. Thanks for taking the tour.